Hey, good evening. How is everybody tonight? We are here live. Karen is up in Michigan visiting me. Her dog, she brought her awesome dog also. So the dogs have all been playing tonight and having, some fun around here. But
now they're all conked out.
Now they are all conked out. I'd like to be conked out. We are going not far behind that. But we love coming live together. So we are live together tonight, and we are on our own phones so that this can stream to both Karen's timeline and to my timeline, because when we go live just on one person's phone, it doesn't stream to both timelines. So, and we can't invite our own friends. So that is why we are doing it this way. So if you see and don't see both of us perfectly in here, that's why. That's what's going on, that we are both live. So you can pop between, if you're Facebook friends with both of us, you can pop between our timelines and see it both ways. But tonight we are going to be talking about a concept that we just were sitting here tossing back and forth, like how does it make sense, right? And that idea is when you say yes to something, to one thing, it means you are automatically saying no to something else. So what does that mean? That sounds a little confusing. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. Now, sometimes that can be an okay thing. Sometimes that can be good. But sometimes, right, depending on what you're looking at it, that yes and that no sort of depends on which way you want to go. Sometimes saying yes, the no is a good thing, right? Saying no to something is a good thing. So where are we going with this? So this month, the month of August, we are kicking off a big Healthy Habits month, right? So for those of you who have been paying any attention to my timeline, the last couple of days I've been talking about our new Healthy Habits transformational system.
It is awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome, right? I've always, for sure, we can help. Everybody knows, it's very clear, we can help with healthy body. That's, predictable transformations, that's easy. We can help with the healthy finances, that's easy. And we've always talked about helping with the healthy mind. And we had tools. We had amazing tools to help with the healthy mind. But the tools that we now have been stepped up. Like if it was here, right? Like you can't even see up here. Whoa, up here. It's like to my ceiling what these tools are now. It is amazing, amazing, amazing. And so this month, we're going to be talking all about the different healthy habits and how you can be incorporating them into your life. Whether you're doing our program or not doing our program, it doesn't matter. This is all about Healthy Habits Month. We have awesome webinars that are happening every Wednesday night talking about this, that is open and free to the public, right? We can, and we would love for you to come into them and learn and grow, because that's what we're all about. We're all about helping people create new healthy habits. And so we, in our lives and in our timelines, we're going to be talking a lot this month about creating those new healthy habits and focusing, on different habits throughout the month. So you're going to be hearing us talk about those things. We first are going to be focusing on the habit of healthy sleep for the next couple of days after tonight. So we wanted to launch this, right, with this topic of when you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. So what does that mean, right? Karen, you want to fill in what sort of the conversation we were having?
So, when you think about that, you say yes to something, that means that you are saying no to something else. And the opposite's true as well. If you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. But, when I think about like my health journey, when I decided to start this journey almost 3 years ago, it was August 3rd, so I'm coming up very quickly on my health anniversary. I was saying no to being unhealthy. I was saying no, to being overweight is an obvious one, but I was saying no to high blood pressure. I was saying no to achy joints. I was saying no to, not being able to walk up a flight of stairs without being winded. I was saying no to not being able to sit in any kind of chair that I wanted to sit in. So, by me saying yes to starting my journey and, and changing my body, working towards a healthy body, I have said yes to so many. I've said yes to that, and I've said no to so many things that were dragging me down and that were making me unhappy and that were making my life more difficult and making me sick to be honest. I was on my way to having some major illness problems, to major illnesses, and I am so glad that I said yes, because I was able to say it, because it meant I was saying no to so many more things.
Right. And all the things that she was saying no to, and when I went through the same thing, we were saying yes to ourselves, and yes to our lives, and yes to what is possible, right? When I started my journey 3.5 years ago, right, I started before Karen, because I started coaching because I really wanted her to come on this program, and I wanted Karen to say yes to herself. So when I said yes to coaching, I was hoping that she was going to say yes to her life too, right? And when I said yes to coaching, I said no to all the bad habits that had plagued me for so long that I was afraid I was going to fall back into, right? So when we say yes to our own selves, and then we're saying no to all the bad things. But this can play out in an everyday situation, right? When I am faced with a challenge, with a stop, challenge, choose, and I go and I open my pantry and I see something that I shouldn't have, right? And it's staring me in the face and it's calling my name, right? When I say no to that, I'm once again saying yes to my health. But when I say yes to that, whatever I shouldn't have, I'm saying no to myself. I'm telling myself I'm not worth it. And that's really, when we start thinking about that, concept as we're working on these healthy habits over the course of this month, those are the things that we want to think about, right? Those are the things with healthy sleep, right? And healthy sleep is one that I still struggle with. Hence the reason it is 11 o'clock and I'm not anywhere near going to bed, right? And I should be, because I'm going to be up super early tomorrow morning, right? Every time I say yes to staying up later, I'm saying no to something in my life. I'm saying no to my healthy sleep, which is not good. That's not important. That's really not a good thing. And so over the next few days, as we talk about that and explore that, I'm going to be making some commitments to myself about my healthy sleep and getting myself back on that healthy sleep track. Because when we say yes to the healthy sleep, right? When I say enough is enough and I'm going to go to bed when I should, then I'm saying yes to my greater me. I'm saying yes to the things that I can improve in my life. And it's really, really important that every time you're faced with a choice, you're faced with a decision to make, to really stop and think, if I say yes to this choice, if I pick A, what does that mean I'm not picking, right? And sometimes that's good. As Karen said, when each of us said yes to our own health and yes to going on to this journey, this amazing journey, when we said yes to that, we said no to all the bad things that were already in our lives, and we put ourselves first, right? And so that's really what we have to think about. And it's awesome. The new app that has come out with our Habits of Health system, it really does this for us. It has a stop, challenge, choose section. So if you're being faced with a decision of is it yes or is it no, right? We are given that. We're given that option right there in this new tool that we have for everybody. And it's totally free. You do not have to be on our program to download this app. If you're on the, either Android or iPhone, go into your App Store or the Google Play Store and search Dr. A's, A as in Anderson, Dr. A's Habits of Health. And you can download this app. It's totally free and it's great. It's going to help you stay on track with your eating plan. It's going to help you stay on track with your food plan. It's going to be taking you through those 6 micro habits. Right now, it first starts with food and hydration, and then it's going to be adding in the other micro habits as you need them, as you're ready for them, which is super cool. There's nothing else out there that ever does this, right? Everybody else just jumps right in and says, change all these things all at once. And that's not how it is. We're saying, yep.
I was just going to say, I was having a conversation with someone this afternoon who, I had been talking with him and giving him some suggestions on things he could do. And I was checking back in with him, and he said, I can't do all of that. And he had missed the part that I had said, don't try to do all of these things at once. We had kind of brainstormed some things based on after the conversation that we had. We had brainstormed some things that could help him. But I said to him, let's pick one. And I love that this app does that because it doesn't jump in and have you do everything. And so when I said that to him and I said, Okay, but you can't, it's not realistic to change all of those things at one time. Let's pick one area. He's like, I can do that, because he was feeling overwhelmed. And that's what I love about this app and this whole system, is that it takes you through step by step. It takes you through one element or one area at a time, and lets you work on that area before you move on to the next one.
Right. Hey, Michael, good evening. Right, exactly. And this whole system sets you up to say yes to the important things in your life, right? So 3.5 years ago, when I started this journey and I picked up the phone and made that phone call to my coach and said yes to making the first steps in my health. Wow. Where did that yes take me? Where did that yes bring me, right? That yes brought me to having lost 75 pounds, right? And keeping it off. Hey, Gail, that yes said yes to helping improve my family, right? My sister, right? My kids, my husband, everybody in my family, this trickle down effect, the fact that because I said yes to my life, over 1,400 other people have said yes to their lives that I can document, right? Forget about the people that I can't document, that are just following along and learning things, and as we live our lives out loud, right? That number is huge, because all those 1,400 people who have their trickle down effects, right? Their families that have grown from that. Wow. So when I said yes to that, right? I said no to so many bad things, which then helped other people be able to walk away from those bad things. Wow, what a huge impact that makes.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's really sort of mind-blowing. I mean, like, when I even think about that, because I said yes. And that's really, I've talked about it a lot with, the butterfly effect, that a butterfly flaps its wings and it has this whole ripple, and what does it do, along the way? Or, one of my kids' old favorite books, The Little Bug That Went a Chew, right? Same thing. This bug sneezes, and then you see this ripple effect of all these things that happen across the town because the bug sneezed. Well, it's the same thing, right? So when we say yes to something positive in our life, we're saying no to something else, which is great in our own personal lives, but it makes the whole world better. It makes everything change, because there's that whole ripple effect. When we feel better about ourselves, when we're thriving, then we're putting that out there in the world, and we're helping really change the world, which is tremendous, right? I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't want to leave a positive effect on this world. Do you know anyone that doesn't want to leave a positive effect? No. Nope. No, not anyone who is in my world, right? The people who don't want to leave a positive effect, those are not people that I want to be around, right? And so it's really like such a powerful thought process, though. What are you saying yes to in your life? And what are you saying no to, right? And like I said, when you're standing there staring and making a decision, ask yourself that. If I say yes to this, what does it mean I'm saying no to? Because when you start to think about it like that, it changes everything. It's going to change what you do, right? When you make a decision to do something, it really takes the choice out of things, right? Once you decide to do something, the only path is to do the things that go along with that. So when I made the decision to get healthy, when Karen made the decision to get healthy, the only choices, there was no choice, right? We made the decision to follow a certain plan, and we followed our plan, right? And when we went off of that plan, and I'm not going to say that we were perfect, because neither of us were perfect, okay? That's just not reality, right? So I'm not trying to claim perfection here. But anytime that we weren't perfect, we were saying no to ourselves. We were saying, no, our health isn't worth it. Our health isn't worth what we said it was worth, right? And when I start thinking about that now, I can tell you, because I still struggle with this, right? I'm sitting at my healthy weight, but I still struggle with stress eating. I still struggle with emotional eating. I still struggle with, days that I want to eat the house, right? We all have that, right? But now that I've started with this concept, this thought process of when I say yes to something, what am I saying no to, right? If I'm going to stop, challenge, and choose, the next time I'm faced with that, and I stop and say, okay, if I say yes to this, whatever it is it's calling my name, and I'm saying no to myself, and I don't want to do that. I love the life that I'm creating for myself. I love the life that I'm creating for my family, right? And I don't want that to stop. And I'm worth more than that. And that's more important to me than that food that's in the kitchen, right? And that's more important to me than eating my emotions. I posted a meme earlier today about, that the problem isn't solved and, and the solution to my problem is not inside my refrigerator, right? And that's true. And I'm going to tell you, it's still going to be hard for me, but it's a great thought process. And and actually the fact that the app asks me to stop, challenge, choose. I did this today. I was standing there and I was looking at something in the pantry that I know I shouldn't have had. And I stared at it and I was thinking of that app and I could see the little circle that said stop, challenge, choose in it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to fill anything in there. So I'm just going to walk away because I know what I need to do. Right. And I wanted to make that I didn't have to even go through the stop, challenge, choose piece of it because I didn't need what I was looking at.
I was just going to say too that I love how this concept, Leslie's giving a lot of examples about, choosing what you're choosing, saying yes to eating healthy or not. But as she was saying before, it applies to everything in your life. So other habits. So, when I say yes to drinking my water, I'm saying no to feeling sluggish and feeling, being dehydrated and all the things that can come with that. When I say yes to going for a walk, I'm saying no to, being stiff and, so it works with all of the habits, but it also works in your everyday life. So, with other things. So, I happen to be one that one of my things that I've really been working on is not procrastinating. I'm a procrastinator. I have been forever. And I'm trying to work on that because when I get into I've never not met a deadline. I always meet my deadlines, but I don't like the feeling that I feel when that happens to me, when I'm in that situation. I don't like the stress. So I've been working on, doing things in a more timely manner, making sure that it's not, that I'm not having to rush or that it's not being done at the last minute. And when I do that, so when I say yes to doing things in a timely manner and yes to not procrastinating, I am saying no to having that feeling. So it can apply to any part of your life, not just weight loss or health even, although that's mental health, in terms of the non-procrastinating. But it really, when you start to really think about this, it's a huge concept. It's like, wow, because when you say yes to anything, you're saying no to something else. What are you saying no to? And again, as Leslie said, sometimes the no's are okay. Sometimes it's a good no. When you're saying no to, when I'm saying no to procrastinating, if I flip it around, then I'm saying yes to being more relaxed and not having that stress and that kind of thing. So you can look at it from either side, most things. But it's a concept that just really makes me stop and think and just go, wow, that shift in thought or thinking that way can totally change my perspective on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you struggle with financial issues, right, it's the same thing, right? When you say yes to spending money on certain things that maybe you shouldn't be, you're saying no to the things that you actually might need, right? That's a huge, like if you go out and buy stuff that you really can't afford, you're saying no to maybe putting the healthy food on your table or saying no to being able to comfortably pay your mortgage or your rent or your car payment or your insurance or the things that are necessities, right? So when you say yes when you say yes to taking care of your bills first, right? You might be saying no to some of those wants, those extra wants, but then you can figure out a way to fit those in. Everything is weighing that balance. Whatever you say yes to, you got to make sure that you're okay with the flip side of the no. And that's really the message here. That's really the message that we're going to both be talking about a lot throughout this month as we go and hit the healthy habits, right? And help everybody examine creating these new healthy habits. And, when we're creating new healthy habits, what are we saying yes to and what are we saying no to, right? Because with each one of those, right, when we get into healthy motion, I'm a walker, right? You guys all know that follow me. I'm a walker. I love to walk. I love to take my walks. So when I say yes to walking my kids to school in the morning, right, I'm saying no, and my kids, some mornings they fight me on it, especially in the winter when it's colder, right? But what am I saying to when I'm saying yes to walking? I'm saying yes to getting my healthy motion. I'm saying yes to getting fresh air. I'm saying yes to spending more time with my kids. I'm saying yes to taking care of my body, because what happens is if I end up driving them to school, I come home and I work all day and I'm on the phone and I'm in front of the computer, and next thing I know, I've had like 3 steps all day, and we've become indoor species, right? And I've said no to myself and I've said no to my health, right? But one of the things that I do when I walk my kids to and from school, I have a rule, and that is I'm not on my phone when I'm walking them to school. We can play music or what, that kind of thing, but I'm not talking on my phone. And my kids know that. And if I walk to school to pick them up in the afternoons, if I'm talking on the phone, because then I will, I'll make client calls, or I'll call Karen, or I'll call my parents or whoever I'm talking to, right? And when I walk up to school, I'll say, I got to get off. And if for some reason my call goes long, my daughter will walk out of school and say, Mommy, you said you would not talk on the phone. You want to spend this time with us, right? When I say no to the person that's on the phone, no, I can't talk anymore, I'm saying yes to my kids, right? And that's who I want to be saying yes to when it's about spending time with them, right? But if I say to the person on the other line, yes to them, I'm saying to my kid, no, you're not as important, right? And the only time I will stay on the phone when they're out there is if I'm talking to my parents, right? And then I can look at them and say, I'm talking to grandma, I'm talking to grandpa, right? Those are really the only people that trump over. And they understand that, because usually then they pull the phone from my hand and they want to talk to grandma or grandpa, right? Then I lose my conversation anyway. But, right, when we say yes to something, what are we saying no to, or who are we saying no to? And that's really super important to think about. So it is 10 after 11.
Too late.
I don't know about you. It's too late.
So
we're going to head off here, but we will see you back here. We will come live again tomorrow, because Karen's going to be here still tomorrow.
Yep.
So we'll come live again tomorrow to do our next topic together. So we hope you have a great night, and we'll see you back here. Bye.
Good night.